Hey there, and welcome back to another Hobbyist Novitiate video. If you already know about Legions Imperialis, if you already played the game, if you're already sort of familiar with that, this video isn't for you. Stop watching. But actually, don't stop watching yet. Wait until the 30-second mark and then leave us a like and a comment for the engagement and the view count. We need them. What this video is for you to send to that friend who has some kind of interest in getting into Legions but really doesn't know anything about it. Or the people on the internet, hello, who are just stumbling around, looking aimlessly for their next obsession. To those people, come in, welcome, sit down.
So, what exactly is Legions Imperialis? LeGimp, for short, is a tabletop wargame. You'll roll dice, move miniatures around the table, and feel elation and despair in equal measure as you crush your foe or are crushed in turn. There are dozens of popular games like this, some fitting into worlds you already know, like the Star Wars themed Shatterpoint, and others introducing completely new settings like Corvus Belli's Infinity. So in a world with countless options to pick for your new plastic obsession, one that we might pour countless hours into for the rest of our lives, why pick Legions Imperialis? What makes LeGimp special?
For a start, Legions Imperialis is epic scale, otherwise known as 8mm. I know that doesn't really sound that exciting, but hear me out. Most tabletop war games sit between the sort of 26 and 30mm range, which means that your average guy is about this big. This is a Warhammer. That scale is great. It's a pretty good size to paint, there's lots of nice detail on the model, and it's a great way of fielding pretty big armies across a normal sized table. But in epic scale, each individual model is somewhere around this big. Tiny. You'll often have 3 to 5 little men on a plastic base that would have held a single model at a larger scale. Smaller models means much larger armies, and much larger armies means much bigger battles. That's the reason 8mm is called epic scale. It's designed to play out battles on a much grander scale.
Legions Imperialis falls under the Warhammer umbrella, alongside other games like 40k and Age of Sigmar. It's set during the Horus Heresy, 10,000 years before 40k, when the Imperium of Man was torn in two by the gods of chaos, and the 18 legions turned on each other for the fate of humankind. You play as the unstoppable Legions Astartes or the unshakable Solar Auxilia, supported by the giant war machines, Titans. There's decades of lore behind this game now, loads to explore if you want to delve deeper into the world. We'll be covering each of the major factions in their own videos later on.
We've mentioned models a lot, but not really gone into any detail. Each army is made up of lots of models. You get to pick which ones go into your army, and also how they look. When you buy a box of Legions Imperialis miniatures, you get a little plastic sprue with lots of options to clip out and put together the way you want. Giving your tiny tank different weapons changes how it plays in the game, so all the choices you make during the creative stage have long-term consequences later on. This modelling and painting process is meaningful in different ways to different people. You might want to paint up an army nice and quickly to get playing the game as fast as possible. Or you might want to spend loads of time deliberating over every single model, painting your own custom sub-faction, or faithfully recreating one of the real ones from the main game. Either way, there are tools and paints geared towards whatever you need to get the look that you want. This is something else we're going to cover later on in more detail, both for complete beginners who've never touched a model before in their life, all the way through to people who have experience with a slightly larger scale but might be looking to make the jump into epic. Once you've built and painted your army, it's time to get into the game itself. Legions Imperialis is a tactical activations-based wargame with loads of really cool complex rules to learn and master. Different armies play differently and need to use different strategies to win, so there's always something new to learn and discover when playing different opponents. There's something absolutely wonderful about taking your case of minis after work to a friend's house or a friendly local game store and pitting your wits against each other. LeGimp provides countless hours of tabletop fun, with no two games ever feeling the same.
It's also an incredibly sociable hobby. Grab a drink after the game, talk through exactly why you won or lost. Some of the people I've played war games with have become my best friends. There's an amazing community of like-minded hobbyists and wargamers, both online and in game stores all around the world. Truly, the people are one of the best parts of the hobby.
So there you are, you've built your army, played a few games, had a few laughs, made a few friends. That's it, right? Wrong. That's just the beginning. There's always something new to add to your army. Maybe you need a little movement speed, a fast attack detachment. Some jet bikes would do perfectly. Maybe you're happy with your army and want to start a second army. Once you have 2 armies, it's easy to trick other people into getting into the game by playing a teaching session with them. You could even test your painting skills by taking a couple of vehicle models and painting them up to the absolute best standard you can to keep on the shelf for later on. There's always more to do, whether to collect or play. Outside of the game itself, there's a massive wealth of books to read. The Horus Heresy series is like 50-something books. I've read the first few now and they are really quite good. The audiobook productions too are absolutely fantastic, with brilliant narration for those who prefer to listen to their books rather than read them. And if you want even more, there are loads of podcasts and YouTube series where people dig deeper into every single facet of the game.
So that's that. We've gushed about Legions Imperialis for a full video now. Hopefully you've got a bit of an idea of why it's so cool. And if anything we've mentioned sounded interesting to you, maybe it's worth getting into the hobby. If you don't know where to start but want to learn more, subscribe to Hobbyist Novitiate. We're going to be releasing videos every month looking at the things we've mentioned in this video. So grab a tea and a biscuit, pull up a chair, and let's get hobbying.